Hi, how are you? Did you have a good week? A little bit crazy week. A lot of stuff going on. Getting ready for next week. Getting ready to say thank you. And at school we had a busy week. Stuff going on every day. And one of those things was a dinner. It was a dinner to share with all the kids in the preschool and their families. And so that's what we did. We said, please bring food from your culture so we can share and learn and be together. And that made me start thinking about basically food. I think about food a lot. And this is why. When I was a kid and we would go see family, we would spend the time in the kitchen cooking to make the dinner for everybody who was coming. When I got my own kids and they would come home from school, I would say, what did you have for lunch? Not how did you do on your math test, what did you have for lunch? When I would go to my mother-in-law's house, there was never a person who would go to her house that did not get fed. When you celebrate with food. And then I thought, is this a man-made idea or is this from God? So I kind of looked it up. And there's stuff in the Bible about eating together. Hebrews 13:16, do not forget to do good to others and share with them what you have. These are the sacrifices that please God. What they're talking about, one part of what they're talking about is food. When people come to your house, you give them food. Revelation 3:20, here I am. I stand at the door and knock, and if anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him, and he will eat with me. And in Acts 2:42, they spent their time learning the apostles' teaching, and they continued to share, to break bread, and to pray together. When Jesus was standing there talking to that huge amount of people, and it was going to be dinner time, and he said, we need food. So one of his miracles was making sure there was enough food for every person there. Food is center to most things in this world. When you come to our church, and we do this once a month, but some people do it every week, some churches do it every week, you have communion. When you come to our church on Sunday, after the service, we have a huge meal that people from the church make and share. Everything that we do has some connection to food. One of the traditions that we have at Christmas time is for us to get together and bake cookies together. And of course, the traditions of having Thanksgiving meal together, and Christmas Eve meal and Christmas Day meal. Easter, there's certain foods that you eat at certain times. I wonder why this is so important. I don't know, but I do know it's always here. In the Bible, it says shared meals symbolize unity and fellowship and celebration, meaning eating together brings you together. And isn't that the point of this world, is to be together, to take care of each other and make sure that we are fed and happy and comfortable. When we share a meal with family, we're not just filling our bellies, we're nourishing our relationships. It's a time to catch up, to listen, to be heard. For children, family dinners are stability and security. They learn how to share with one another. Good manners, kindness. And when you make plans to hang out with your friends, you go for dinner or lunch or snack. When I look back and think back to the memories I have of when I was a child, when my children were children, and now, food is always part of it. There's a comfort in that. And maybe the reason I need to talk about it is because it helps. When we celebrate Colleen's birthday, or all of our birthdays, we go to a special place and have a special meal. When we need the time to be quiet and talk, not be quiet and talk, but talk calmly with each other, we usually go someplace and have something to eat. God made us all to be social, to be with each other. And we have figured out a way to do that. To be able to share a meal, to be able to cook that meal together. When Colleen was getting married, I wanted her to be able to have time with her family and Craig's family. And so I invited them to come up to our house that we use in the Poconos. And one of the things that we did was cook together and clean up together. And that connected us in a way that we probably had not been connected since that, before that. We celebrate with food. When we're making plans, when we made plans for Emily's shower, her mom and her sister and I went out for dinner and made the plans. We meet friends. When you go on a date, you go to have food. In preschool, the whole schedule is around eating. The morning snack, lunch, the afternoon snack. The important part of all of this is the part where you're with your friends and your family, the part where you're connected, where you feel comfortable with the other people. And food is a way of comforting. You have food in your stomach, you feel good. Just the act of sitting there, holding a fork, you feel good. I'm going to continue to go out for dinner with my friends, to make food with my family, and to have the memories I have and keep them and go back to them of the times that we shared huge meals and tiny little meals. There's a poem I found by Joy Harjo. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we have to eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table, so it has been since creation, and it will go on. It is here. The children are given instructions on what it means to be human. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves, and as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse, and we give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating the last sweet bite. Next week, when you celebrate the one holiday that is basically food, you remember that. It's the time to give thanks, yes, absolutely. but it's also the time to feel good, to understand and remember what you're eating, that you remember and you feel comfort in that. And look around at all those people that are sharing your food with you, and know that you guys are all connected, that we all are. That's what food brings to us. So continue. Continue to eat and share and be together. I know it's okay with God. I love you. I miss you a lot, but we'll be together soon, maybe around the table. Have a good week. Have a good Thanksgiving. I love you.